Guys, how's it going? So as you guys can see behind me, we've got a train. I am staying at a hostel right next to Williamsburg Station in New York City. So Williamsburg is actually like a really hip, happening part of New York City. A lot of hipsters, a lot of students, a lot of people love to live here. It's in New York City and it's bordered by Greenpoint to the north and Bushwick and East Williamsburg to the east, and we're right along the East River to the west. So basically, we're staying here at this hostel by accident. We thought that it was going to be a private room. We got here, we ended up having to rearrange some things, and we couldn't sleep in a private room together, so we had to get a bunk bed where one of the nice hostel employees helped us out. So we ended up getting a private room anyway with 2 bunk beds. But I'm going to show you this hostel real quick. As I show you this hostel, I'll tell you a little bit about Williamsburg, because it's one of the places in New York City that's still affordable if you guys want to stay as a tourist. So since the late 1900s, Williamsburg has undergone a gentrification characterized by a contemporary art scene, a hipster culture, and vibrant nightlife. And this has projected its image internationally as Little Berlin. So for those of you who know Berlin in Germany, it's full of hip happening things, and Williamsburg is very similar to that. Yesterday when we arrived, we were racing to try to drop off our car at Hertz near Central Park because we had to drop it off by 11. We ran into this hostel, we dropped our stuff, we drove like madmen to drop off the car, and then we came back by train to Williamsburg. And then we got some food at a delicious deli right down across the street, which is also another one of New York's kind of very, very, very well-known elements. Delicious delis, delicious sandwich meats, fresh fruits, fresh juices, and Spanish everywhere. And I was really surprised that everybody here still speaks Spanish. He wanted to use his English and people kept responding in Spanish. It was funny. So after the deli, we went next door. We went to a Latin club where we got to dance with salsa and bachata. So it was really fun, and then we went to bed kind of early. So today we're going to go to Central Park. Today we're going to do some other touristy things around Central Park, and then we're going to go and get half-price Broadway tickets at this ticket booth, Red Box Tickets, I think it's called, or New York Tix, where you can buy half-price Broadway show tickets the day of the show. So I'll show you guys where that is. So in case you come to New York and want to see a Broadway show, you'll be able to get your the tickets at a reasonable price, and still be able to enjoy. So basically, this is the hostel that we stayed at. You'll see it's like an international student center. So it's got like rooms where, you know, the ceiling doesn't actually touch the top. So it can get a little noisy if you're a person that gets sleepy or that cannot handle a lot of noise, but they do have some serious rules in terms of safety and lights out. So in that sense, even though there is a lot of people staying here and the ceilings don't exactly the walls don't exactly reach the ceiling, it's still okay. Wasn't that bad. We got some really good sleep last night. So I'm taking you guys through. There's no elevator here, so I'm gonna have to take you guys down a few flights of stairs. But as I'm walking, and hopefully I don't fall down the stairs, so far I don't think I've fallen down any of the stairs in any of my Facebook Lives, so I feel pretty proud of that. But basically I want to tell you a little bit about the history of New York as I'm walking down these stairs, so that you guys are not bored watching me walk. Basically, for those who have never visited New York City, it is massive, it is eclectic, it is full of a bunch of people, and it's really a town that never sleeps. So you can ride the transportation methods, the metro, 24/7. It's fairly safe. It smells kind of bad, and right now, since there's a huge heat wave going through the US, it's really, really hot. It's about 35 degrees Celsius or about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So some people ask, why is New York so popular? Well, Times Square is like the most bustling square of New York, where we're going to take you today. And it's known for Broadway theaters, cinemas, electronic billboards. It's one of those places that kind of makes New York City the city that never sleeps. And of course, it's one of the most famous parts of New York because of its triangular shape. Many people ask, is New York a good place to live? It depends. So I'm from Boston, so, there's a little bit of a feud between the Red Sox, which is our local baseball team in Boston, and the New York Yankees. So you guys will see a lot of people wearing like Boston Beantown hats with a B, or the New York Yankees hats. So there is a rivalry. But even as somebody who lives in Boston, I do come to New York often because it is pretty awesome to visit. However, does not necessarily answer the question of, is it a good place to live? Many people think even though it's popping, even though it's never sleeps, It's very, very expensive, and so many people that live here say that they like it, and yet they struggle to make ends meet because it's very, very expensive. New York actually accounts for about 8 million people, meaning that there are even more people outside of New York that have never set foot in the city. But New York is very, very famous on the world stage because it's actually very, very old. I don't know how many of you guys know the history of New York, but basically New York was settled first by the Dutch along the Hudson River in 1624, and then 2 years later they established the colony of New Amsterdam on Manhattan Island. And then in 1664 the English took control of the area and renamed it New York. New York is the largest city by population in the United States, which far exceeds the number of people recorded in the second largest city, or most populated city, second to New York, which is Buffalo, with just 258,071 inhabitants. Basically, New York was named twice. I'll tell you some more facts about New York later, but let me show you a little bit more of the hostel. And then I'll tell you guys a little bit about what we end up doing later on in another live video. So as you guys saw, I just came out of the stairwell. This is the lobby of the hostel that we're at. Like I said, we're in Williamsburg. It's a nice hip area, as you can see by the design. Very youthful, very beautiful. Our lovely receptionist over here. 24-hour gas of the International Student Center. It can take people at all times. We arrived yesterday around 10 p.m. So we were able to get some food. Take you guys outside here really fast. So going outside. So here, as you guys can see, typical kind of New York view. We've got the metro up here that you guys saw out the window when the train went by. And then we also have the kind of cafe over here that you guys can see. I'm not gonna go inside. Actually, I think I remember the code. Okay, this guy's selling marijuana. I'm not trying to buy any, but he is selling it. I guess he's advertising it well for anybody who needs to buy it. I'm not into that right now. But anyways, I couldn't get into the Student Center Cafe because I don't remember the code, but that's okay. So this is the view of the hostel. I'm gonna log off now because we're gonna go and do our sightseeing, as I mentioned before. Just telling you guys a big hello, bunch of love from Impendus. We're on the East Coast now. We're almost home in Boston. So I'll be talking to you guys later. Have a wonderful Monday. Hope everyone's having a nice lunch break for those who are watching in Bogota. Cheers.